many parents are thinking about back to school. COVID Ecoles Quebec was formed by a concerned father, Olivier Drouin, during the pandemic. He has been such a resource to CJ 800 throughout the pandemic. He's serving as a kind of a watchdog of COVID inside our schools, collecting data from teachers and parents, giving us the details that we might not get otherwise. So when I thought about back to school, and I thought about, hey, how are we going to talk about back to school and if our schools are ready? I said, there's one person we need to talk to, and that's Olivier Drouin. He's on the line. Hi, Olivier. Thanks for coming back on.
Good morning.
And let me tell you one thing. As I waited for our websites that we have here to refresh with the COVID numbers, you know what was so funny? And it's happened before. It's happened many times over the last year. Your Twitter had it before my website refreshed. So you are on the ball, sir. I have my first question for you, Olivier, is back to school. We're a few weeks away. Are Quebec schools ready for back to school, in your opinion?
No, I don't think they are. I think the plan that was published by Mr. Roberge early June, that's supposed to be updated next week, calls for no mask, no distanciation. It's called the Back to Normal plan, and we are nowhere near normal today. And you know what happened today also is that the Minister of Superior Education for CEGEP and University just announced that there will be no mask in CEGEP University. That's the Back to School plan at that level as well. So we are concerned.
So what do you think should be changed from that plan? You brought up the masks, and I know that is one thing that they said they may revisit the decision in high schools and elementary schools, right? They may revisit that decision. But what would be your action plan, Olivier?
They talked about the vaccination passport, which I think is a good measure. So I think this will help generally in society, but not in schools. Elementary schools will have no vaccine whatsoever. So what I would like to see is definitely what we've always been asking for in the last few months. It's increased testing, rapid testing, improved ventilation in schools, air quality. So they are moving the needle a little bit by purchasing eventually some C02 detectors, but they won't be there for the next few weeks. So we'll probably have to wait quite a bit for that. So there's many different things they could do to improve the plan, and mask is definitely there. And I would add, thinking about a vaccine passport, maybe a mandatory vaccination for teachers or all adults that are in contact with unvaccinated children, especially in elementary school.
Yeah, it does seem pretty incredible. It's so funny. We've actually seen more movement south of the border in the U.S., where there's so much about freedom in such a big way. But we've seen educational institutions there be very clear. There's a vaccine mandate. You want to show up to class, you need to be vaccinated. Why do you think we're hesitant on that front? It seems like Quebecers would be very in favor in certain scenarios of having mandatory vaccinations. And you would think in schools, teachers in schools would be one of them. Why do you think Quebec's hesitant there?
I think they're very hesitant for political reasons to satisfy their electoral base. But you're right. If you see what was announced yesterday, I think it was a positive reaction across the board for most of the population around the passport. Mm-hmm. And I think if slowly but surely Mr. Trudeau and Mr. Legault go in the same direction and start with state workers and bring that down maybe to schools, then I think it would be accepted by the general population. I actually tweeted this morning asking the unions, the teachers' unions, if they would be in favor or not of vaccination. And another question that I had last week, which basically didn't get an answer, is do they have a register of how many teachers are actually vaccinated? And the answer was no, this does not exist.
And, it's interesting you say that, because one of the reasons why you've become a resource, right, is because it seemed like you were able to provide data that the government couldn't or wouldn't provide. And there's another example. We're with Olivier Drouin, the creator of COVID Ecoles Quebec, as we discuss the plan for back to school. Olivier, you brought up CO2 sensors, and it is amazing that it seems like they're finally on the case, but they still won't be in place for the beginning of back to school. I don't know how much time they needed for this, but what's the situation with air quality inside the classroom? CO2 sensors, air filtration. What are the developments there?
So what they did is on mid-July, July 16th, the Ministry of Education came out with an RFP, I guess, or a call for tender for company suppliers to provide around 90,000 units, like Wi-Fi or units of C02 detection. Knowing that the turtle speed of our government, well, this was launched, but of course, by the time that the last school gets all of their equipment, it probably will be June of next year. So there will be, and even the contract is written this way. There's like 25% that need to come in the first few months, and then they have up to 105 days. And of course, there's microprocessing chips shortage around the world, so there's no company that can actually build that's fast. So That's one thing. That's CO2 detectors. Then the next thing that Mr. Robert had told us in June was, well, it's going to be the summer of renovations and air quality investment improvements in school boards. Well, guess what? They're all closed during the summer, and there is no register of all the improvements, if any, that has been done on air filters, purifiers. And even yesterday, I actually found out that they purchased about $800,000 of air exchangers, not purifiers, and those air exchangers do not have a HEPA filter, which is basically what's required to remove the particles of COVID.
Olivier, I want to thank you for coming on. The one last question for you this morning is, when this pandemic started, you started to do this. You started to track COVID cases in schools. I don't know if you imagined that it would be 18 months in, you'd still be doing it. I don't know how many months we've reached, but how much longer are you going to do? Are you in this for good here? How much longer are you going to be the watchdog when it comes to COVID in schools?
I'll be here for quite a bit because it started as a personal initiative, and then I saw that it actually was bringing value in the community. And I've been told that this brings great value by yourselves, the journalists, the people, the parents, the teachers. So as long as it brings value and it contributes to society, this is a volunteer effort I will continue to do. And I'm passionate about it. I put my heart in it, so that's why I put a lot of hours.
Olivier Drouin is the creator of COVID Ecoles Quebec. Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.